Do you guys know what the greatest video game controller of all time is? Well, I have a speculation, but I don't think you guys are going to agree with me until the end of this video. So some of you guys may actually say that the greatest video game controller of all time is the 360. And I can actually agree to an extent, because if you guys were like me and moved from the 360 straight over to by far one of the greatest gaming consoles of my generation, the PS4. Now, some of you may remember switching like that, going from a bigger controller to the smaller controller, but what really didn't help was the fact that I was getting older and my hands were getting bigger. So what if I told you that there is a company out there that actually has those two controllers combined into one whole controller? And that controller company, ladies and gentlemen, is SCUF Gaming. So what's good, everybody on YouTube? It's your boy AJH, and I am back again with another YouTube video. So as you saw by the intro, we're going to be talking about, personally, my favorite gaming controller of all time. Now, some of you are probably already keyboarding warriors out there already, just demolishing the keyboard, saying how bad SCUF is. But honestly, if you've never purchased or had a SCUF in your life, just hear me out. There's more to it than just they break and they're expensive. If you actually take care of them like I did, I don't think you'll have an issue. Now, mind you, a lot of people do play video games for 8 to 10 hours a day. But for someone like me, I actually used to do that. But now, as I'm getting more into content creation, I'd rather not play 8 hours a day. I'd rather spend 3 hours at my setup, play a little bit, have a little fun, and not break anything. Now, some people play and they've thrown controllers, but I, in my life, have never done that. Personally, that's just ridiculous. It's a video game.
What? Oh my God!
Some of you guys are probably asking, what made you make the switch to SCUF? What made you spend the $250 to get that controller? Well, it all started when I was in a tournament playing, I believe it was MW. I think we were playing some GBs and my hands started cramping really bad. And I believe I was using my red one with Control Freaks, everything like that. But my hands during that phase, of PS4, at the beginning of PS4 all the way up to the end of PS4, my hands they kept growing. I was in that growing period of time where my hands got bigger and bigger and bigger, and I couldn't do anything about it. So I worked a little bit of overtime and I actually pulled the trigger on my first one. So my first one was actually the FaZe Clan one. Now, this design is absolutely sick. I absolutely love the way that the FaZe logos are actually in a pattern. They fade into this black, and then on the other side, you get the big FaZe logo. It's just beautiful, so simple, so subtle, and that's why I purchased this one as my first one. Now, there was one mistake that I did make, and it wasn't with just this one. It was actually with my second one and my first one. I really messed up. Now, I was playing with this controller for about a year, maybe a little bit less, maybe give it 9-10 months. I was using this FaZe controller and nothing was wrong. My hands weren't they weren't cramping up. They were actually perfectly sitting. Look at how perfectly set my hands are, and I'm playing like this, and I have these paddles right here. Everything was perfect until it actually started wearing down. So it was about Rebirth Island time. I was playing and my guy all of a sudden started doing spin cycles in the bottom of prison. So I was like, whoa, what's going on? So for some reason, I took one of the sticks out, put a new one in, and it actually started working fine. So in that moment, I actually went and bought my second one. Now, my second one was the one that I showed at the beginning of the video, and that was my FaZe Pamaj one. This is probably my favorite controller, and I wish I would have built this one right because I would be using it a lot more. Now, what do I mean by did it build it right? So a lot of you know that the paddles are a plus, and the grip, there's grips, but you can actually customize more than that. You can take the rumbles out, which on all of my controllers, I do have the rumbles out. I don't want to get into a gunfight and my gun start blasting and my controller starts shaking, so I have to really like use my thumbstick to aim down and keep the recoil straight. So I take all the rumbles out, but I also thought that I had the right triggers. So when I bought my first one, I actually thought that the digital tap triggers was the same thing as the trigger control system, where I can either, switch it if I wanted to go all the way down, it can, or I thought this was actually the digital tap. It is pretty fast. I will give it that. If you guys can see that, it has like a little stop. It has trigger stops pretty much. But I bought that on both my first and my second one. And then my friend actually went out and bought the PS4 version, and I played Cold War, I believe it was, with his controller. Had the 4 paddles, but also had the digital tap. And I was like, I need ASAP a controller with digital tap triggers, and I will now never go back. And that is where my third SCUF controller comes in, and that is the Swag controller. If you guys know me, I'm a big Swag follower. I love Swag. I love all his videos, his streams, so I had to cop his controller. Now this is actually my daily. It has the Swag logo on the side, his Swag eagle thingy-mabob on the middle, you can barely see it, and it also has a crown in the same shape as his logo, but it also says Stay Humble on the side with the YouTube logo. Now this one I didn't mess up on. It actually has the digital tap triggers. If you guys can hear that. You hear that? Oh yeah. Digital tap. Pretty much it sounds like a mouse click. If you do this, it sounds exactly like a mouse click. Now this one, no difference in build. Has the rumbles out, has the same grip, but I also have SCUF joystick, and then I actually have a stock PS4 stick in this one with a Control Freak on top. Just helps me aim a little bit better, helps out with all that. I'm not cheating, I promise. Just helps the gameplay out a little bit better. Now, why am I recommending this to you guys? Well, some of my audience is actually adults, all right? Now, I'm 22, a young adult, all right? I'm a young adulte, but my hands are still bigger. So, as you see, my hands fit perfectly in this controller. I can reach, but I never have to take my hands off, or my fingers off the thumbsticks to go here. This is your aim, right? I don't want to have to do this. So it's all back here, and I can literally go like this. I could be snaking and shooting at the same time if I wanted to, but sometimes I don't. I like playing like a normal human being. I'm not playing like a sweaty demon out here. This can make you play like a demon. So along with that, just the quality on this thing is very nice. Like I said, the only problem I've had was with the stick after 9 months. Some of you are real big button smashers, and that's why you've had your issues with your controller. You're bashing buttons. You're playing for 12 hours a day. Lay it off, man. And also set your controller down normally. Do not throw it. In my opinion, I think that this was the best purchase that I've made in my career, all 3 of them. Those 2, the FaZe one and the Pomage one, actually sit back here on my shelf, but when my Swag one breaks, I have 2 old reliables that I can rely on. I really do hope that I helped you guys out on making a decision. Personally, I hope you guys really go through with it. If you guys are speculating on purchasing one, they do have the PS5 one, if you like the way that feels. They have these are called the Impact, and they also have the regular PS4 controller. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoyed it as much as I did creating it, please give it a big thumbs up. If you guys do have any questions, please leave them down below. I will be happy to answer them for you guys. And last but not least, hit that sub button. Make sure to hit that noti bell so you guys are notified when I do post a video, go live, post a short, something like that. It's always going to notify you when that happens. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys have a wonderful day. Peace.